And top law enforcement leaders here in Rhode Island weighed in on the tragedy today, saying police nationwide are vulnerable to those who want to do harm to police officers. Eyewitness News reporter Madeline Wright joins us live in the newsroom with more local coverage.
Shannon, the Providence Public Safety Commissioner tells me the deadly ambush affects every police officer in the country, including those here in Rhode Island. Police officers in Providence and around southern New England on high alert after Saturday's deadly ambush of 2 police officers in Brooklyn.
Unfortunately, the tragic death and assassination of 2 uniformed police officers in New York over the weekend, has heightened concern and awareness about the dangers of being a police officer.
Providence Public Safety Commissioner Stephen Perry says he hopes the incident does not begin a trend of ambushes against police. He reflected on the tragedy Monday afternoon at a Rotary Club meeting in Providence, where he spoke on the police's relationship with the community.
Our hearts break for those 2, for the entire New York City Police Department, and particularly those 2 young officers that died over the weekend.
At the meeting, the president of the NAACP Providence branch was also a guest speaker, holding a moment of silence to honor the sacrifice of the fallen officers.
I was shocked. It's horrific. I roundly condemn it. I hope that this doesn't put a strain on the positive police community discussions that I think we've been having.
Perry says he doesn't know when the officers' funerals will be, but he says his department will be there.
I'm sure we'll have a presence to recognize and honor and grieve the loss of 2 of our own.
2 of our own, he says, and that just shows you how personal this loss is for law enforcement agencies across the region. Now, coming up new at 6, the NAACP Providence branch president and the public safety commissioner talk solutions for improving the relationship between the community and police. Live in the newsroom, Madeline Wright, Eyewitness News.
Now we're working the latest developments on the deadly shootings of 2 New York City police officers. Officers Rafael Ramos and Wenjin Liu were ambushed Saturday, gunned down while sitting in their patrol car. Investigators say the suspect killed himself after the attack. But this horrifying act of violence has police across the country and here in southern New England on alert. New at 6, Providence's Public Safety Commissioner and the NAACP discuss how to improve the relationship between the community and law enforcement. Eyewitness News reporter Madeline Wright is live in the newsroom now with more.
Shannon, the Providence Public Safety Commissioner says the relationship between police and the community is decent, but it needs to get better. In the wake of a deadly ambush that killed 2 officers in New York and the controversial Eric Garner and Michael Brown cases, the spotlight is on the relationship between the community and police, including here in Rhode Island.
We got to continue with that dialogue and, hold our police officers accountable when they are either unprofessional or aggressive.
At a Rotary Club meeting in Providence Monday afternoon, Public Safety Commissioner Stephen Perry suggested ways to improve community relations, like hiring more women and minorities in the police department.
Race relations in this country have been strained for decades. We've come a long way, but we have a long way to go.
He also says police need to listen closely to the community. The president of the NAACP Providence branch also spoke at the meeting.
There's a tiny, small minority of officers, I call them the bad apples, that seem to feel that they can do whatever they want.
He says the complaint process needs reforming.
A lot of people are afraid to complain, or the complaint process seems to be too cumbersome.
He also suggested reforming the disciplinary process.
Right now, there's a policeman's bill of rights that some officers use to protect themselves from being punished.
The Providence Public Safety Commissioner and the NAACP branch president both agree that body cameras on police would help. Live in the newsroom, Madeline Wright, Eyewitness News.